Hello everyone. Welcome to the class of Transportation Engineering 2. So in Transportation Engineering, we were studying about railway engineering, and in railway engineering, what we were doing was we were discussing components of P-way one by one. So in the same series, the next component of railway engineering, or you can say P-way track, is sleepers. Okay. So in the previous lecture, we have studied about all about rails, how it is manufactured, how the rail classification is done. Okay, in this lecture, we'll be studying about the sleepers. So these are the topics which will be covered in the lecture. That is sleepers first. What are sleepers? Then the types of sleepers, how the classification is done. Then sleeper density. Then sleeper spacing. Okay. So you all have seen the railway sleepers while traveling. Okay. Even in metro, at some station, being a student of NCR, you might have seen this very easily. Even there are some stations like Yamuna Bank in Delhi Metro, okay, where you will find these kind of sleepers. The other stations are having a Belastus railway track, okay, that is a different thing. But over here, at stations like Yamuna Bank, and there is one more station on the red line also where the train runs at the ground level. There you can see that these kind of sleepers are used. Okay, so sleeper is a very important component of, you can say, P-way. Okay, so these are the functions which sleepers serve. That tries to, it actually keeps the rails to the correct gauge and alignment. So basically, it protects uh, the railway track going out of the alignment or out of the gauge. Okay, so in order to maintain a uniformity of the gauge and a correct alignment, the sleepers are required. Okay, then they rectify the track geometry at times. Okay, then they also provide firm and even support for the entire stability of the railway track. Okay, and also they act as an elastic medium, so that the absorption of the all these vibration and blows which are coming from the traveling of the railway, this thing, train. Okay, so the locomotives and the rolling stock, whenever they travel along with the uh, passengers, or you can say goods, on the railway track itself, what happens is keep the vibrations or the load that is coming over the rails, that is transferred to the sleeper. Okay, and these sleepers, they always act as an elastic medium, and therefore they absorb some of the vibration, and rest they transfer it to the ballast. Okay, then longitudinal and lateral stability to the P-way. PW over here is P-way. So also it provides lateral stability. Otherwise, what will happen? At the moment, any rolling stock will be there on the track. If sleepers are not there, or you can say defective sleepers are there, what will happen? The alignment will be gone, and rail defect, the failure of rail will take. Also, the train will lead into derailment. Okay, then transferring of the load to wider area of ballast. Okay, so this is one of the technical features of these sleepers. That what they do is the entire load, so whatever the loads are, moving load, stationary load, dead load, all of the loads, they are coming on. They are being put on the rails with the help of these wheels. Okay, और rails के बाद वो transfer होता है किसमें? Sleepers में. And from the sleepers it gets transferred into the last cushion, and therefore ultimately to the formation and subgrade. Okay, so this is how the transfer of loads takes place. We have already studied while we were studying PV. Now there are certain requirements that has to be, meet up while selecting the sleeper. Okay, so these sleepers, the requirements of these sleepers are easy maintenance and gauge adjustment. So the sleepers should be such that their maintenance should be easy. Then fixing and removing of fastening in these sleepers should be easy. Why? Because if you have to carry a maintenance work, if you see, the distance between the sleepers is not that much. Okay, they are quite nearby. So removing one sleeper or removing fastening devices from one sleeper without affecting the other is very difficult. So in that case, easy fixing and removing of fastening should be enabled. Then the sleeper should have moderate weight so that it can be easily handled and transported. Then should be sufficient bearing area on the sleepers. These sleepers, whatever you are using, whatever kind of sleepers you are using, they should be able to resist shock and vibration. Then track circuiting must be possible. Okay, like in cast iron sleepers or in steel sleepers, there was a problem of short circuiting. Okay, so that is now being rectified in the concrete sleepers, the precast concrete sleepers. Then anti-sabotage and anti-theft qualities should be beneficial. Being in India, this is one of the most common issue that people they actually try to steal the sleepers and properties of Indian Railways. So this is one of the most important factor, I guess, while selecting a sleeper. Okay. Then minimum initial and maintenance cost should be there. Okay, so that the rest of the thing, the economical consideration which you are making here, it should be affecting the other quality of the other material. Okay, so now we'll talk about the type of sleeper. So basically, there are certain types of sleepers which have been keeping evolving over the time. So earlier we used to make use of wooden sleeper. सबसे पहले हम लोग wooden sleeper use थे. फिर उसके बाद evolve होके हमने start किया कि जब metals when the use of metal came into being, then we started using steel sleepers. Then we realized there was some disadvantage of using steel sleepers, so we moved on to cast iron sleepers. Right now, concrete sleepers are being the most abundantly used kind of sleepers in India. Okay, not even in India. It is globally the most kind of used sleepers. Okay, सबसे ज़्यादा यही use होता है concrete sleeper. If the tracks are having sleepers, otherwise, what we do is nowadays we have evolved a ballast plus railway track technology, like in metros. In metros, you will see there are no ballast, there are no sleepers also. Instead of that, you will at stations you will see concrete slabs. Those are casted along with only the cut and cover you can see over there. Okay, and the tracks are fastened to the this thing to your P-way itself, the Malaspas railway track itself, and with the help of certain new kind of fastening devices, which helps in absorbing the vibrations and shocks. Okay. So talking about the service life, these wooden sleepers used to have a service life of 15 years. Then steel sleepers were having a service life of 50 years. Okay, so that was the major reason of using one of the major reasons for using steel sleeper over wooden sleeper was the service life. Okay, it almost gave more than 3 times service life. So therefore, we started using steel sleepers. Then there was some changes made to the steel sleepers, and cast iron sleepers were used. These cast iron sleepers were known as CST 9 sleepers. Okay, that is Central Standard Trial 9 sleepers. Okay, why this name was designated to these kind of sleepers, we'll be discussing further. Okay, then concrete sleeper came into being, where they were having a service life of 40 to 50 years. They were having certain additional advantages which made everyone to switch on to the concrete sleeper instead, like the length. They used to lend strength and stability to tracks. Okay, then they help to maintain the gauge, cross level, and alignment in a better way. Track circuiting is very easy because they are non-metallic in nature. Okay, then lesser damages caused to these sleepers. Plus, also anti-sabotage and anti-theft qualities are developed. Why? Because concrete sleepers being a bit heavy, they cannot be directly lifted by just one or two bursts. Okay, it has to be lifted by at least 4 to 5 people. It is not that easy to carry a concrete sleeper. That too, you can carry it up to a certain distance. Okay. So talking about wooden sleeper, there were certain defects found in wooden sleeper, which were all those defects mainly which are found in timbers itself, like center hard presence of knots and warps and veins and shakes. Where if these kinds of defects, split ends or twisted grains or cross grains, okay, these kinds of defects, where if they were present in the timber that has to be used for wooden sleeper, so these wooden sleepers were rejected. Okay, then uh, these wooden sleepers actually required treatment also. Since you all have studied building material and construction, you might be aware of the fact that any kind of timber which is used in engineering purpose, it requires certain treatment. Apart from seasoning, also it requires certain treatment for based upon the type of use or the purpose they are going to be serving. Okay, so treatments like ASCO treatments and seasoning of timbers, seasoning of sleepers, which were ultimately required, made these sleepers a bit non-economical, or we can say uneconomical. Okay, Now, seasoning, as you are aware, that these seasoning was basically done in order to remove the moisture content in the sleeper, so that it can be ensured that better treatment could be achieved. So, Indian Railways specified that these sleepers, the moisture content in these sleepers should not be more than 25%. Okay, and most importantly, the method used for the seasoning of these wooden sleepers was controlled seasoning. Okay, then using hot preservative, the vacuum process, boiling or under vacuum process. Then air seasoning, which is most widely adopted in India for the use of seasoning in wooden sleepers. Okay. Okay. So these are the pictures which shows the orientation of the methods which are used for seasoning of timbers in India. Okay, the first one is open crib method, when where what is done, the sleepers are entirely placed in an open place, and the wooden sleepers are allowed to remove the moisture content. Then 1 in 9 method, where there was a specific arrangement of keeping the sleepers like as shown in the figure. Okay. Now, when we talk about wooden sleepers, there's an important term called Composite Sleeper Index, that is known as CSI. Okay. The CSI has a formula which is given as S plus 10H upon 20, where S is the general strength at 12% moisture content and H is general hardness figure at 12% moisture content. Okay. This composite sleeper index is basically an indicator of mechanical strength of timber, and suitably it is, you know, of timber for use as a sleeper. Okay. So basically, whenever you want to judge, if you are given provided a wooden sleeper and you want to judge the strength of that mechanical strength of that wooden sleeper, you will go for what? You will go for calculation of the CSI, that is composite sleeper index. Okay. So as per Indian Railways, there are certain CSI prescribed by Indian Railways minimum values which are there. Okay, for track sleeper it is 783. For crossing sleeper, that means the sleeper which are used under the crossing, they have a value of 1352, and for bridge sleepers they have a value of 1455. These wooden sleepers had an advantages, number of advantages, that apart from, the lower service life, that was a disadvantage, but they had an advantage also, like they were cheap. Okay, they were easy to manufacture and handle, so that they were weightless, so you can carry it very easily. Plus, wood being an insulator, the wooden sleeper, they had a good dampening effect. Okay. Also, again, being insulator, they were quite suitable for track circuiting. Also, they were suitable for yielding formation, bridges, ash pits, etc. without the stone ballast. Why? Because a major amount of, or you can say major portion of the vibrations or shocks generated, they were absorbed by the sleeper itself. Okay. So partially, or you can say very, minute manner, the vibrations were used to transfer to the ballast. Correct alignment, correction to the alignment was easy. Okay. So if in case, if you want to move any, if you compare concrete sleeper or any other sleeper with wooden sleeper, it is quite easy to move and remove and then again install a wooden sleeper. That made what it enabled the easy correction of the alignment. Okay, here are the disadvantage of wooden sleeper. Like, they were liable to mechanical wear, first of all. Then they had a shorter life due to decay, that was near around 15 years. Then maintenance of gauge was difficult. Then they were susceptible to fire hazards. Plus, the scrap value is negligible, since why? Because wood being a degradable material, after some time these wooden sleepers are degraded. Okay. Now this is an image of the end of a steel sleeper, or you can say steel tray sleeper. Okay. So basically, in this steel sleeper, the rolled steel plate of 12 thickness is used. Okay, that is pressed. It is actually pressed to suitable trough shape, and a rail seated can to 1 in 20. Okay, earlier we have studied what adzing of sleeper. So this adzing was done in the sleeper directly itself. Like in concrete sleeper, we have to provide an additional plate, or either apart from that, while casting, we have to keep in mind. Similarly, over here, the steel tray was pressed to a suitable shape, which is a canting of 1 in 20. Plus, also, the ends were flattened out to retain the ballast, so that it may not move. See, this is a cross section of a steel truss sleeper. Okay, so these sleepers, they had an advantage of their own, but a problem in steel sleeper were the fixing. We'll discuss it later when we will study fastening devices. Okay, how the rails were used to fix on these steel sleepers, that was an issue. Okay, plus the maintenance issue. Okay, so here's an example of how they were fixed on the how the rails were used to fix on the steel sleepers with the help of, that is, with the help of loose jaws or with the help of press lugs. In the first image, you can see the open lugs are there, okay, and key is there. So what it was done was, जो फिक्सिंग होती थी वो कैसे करी जाती थी कि जो रेल्स है आपका, the rails are used to place in the groove. Okay, after that keys are inserted at both the ends and these pressing of the lugs is done. So once you press the lugs with the help of key, the rail is actually fixed over there. Second one was with the help of loose jaws. So this is like when we use the jaw, the removal of key is done. Okay, there is no need for key. Sometimes it is used, but mostly it is not used because there is no use of key. So with the help of loose jaws, it is like a clamping action. Okay, so it is basically a clamp which is holding the rail onto the position itself, that is on the steel sleeper. Okay, so there are certain advantages of steel sleeper also. That is, they have a longer life, then they have better lateral rigidity, they are free from decay and fire hazard, they have a good scrap value, they are lesser, the damage is lesser during the handling or transportation. Then they have less maintenance problems. Also, steel sleepers are easy. It is quite easy to maintain gauge on the steel sleeper. Then the disadvantage of these steel sleepers are that being exposed to the environment, they are quite liable to the corrosion. Plus, unsuitable to they are, since steel is a conductor of electricity, then track circuiting becomes difficult on the track. Also, it becomes center bound due to the sloping ends. Then these steel sleepers are actually rail specific. That means only a certain kind of rail can be used on a specific sleeper. Otherwise, if you want to use a different kind of rail, you have to uh, redesign the sleeper, and those the grooves which we were talking in the earlier image, they have to be cast into accordingly. Okay. Also, development cracks at the rail seat takes place whenever we make the use of steel sleeper. Okay. Now these steel sleepers were then evolved into cast iron sleepers. We found certain disadvantages, and after evolving, we found that a new kind of sleeper was introduced, that was cast iron sleeper. So these cast iron sleepers were basically known as. It also has certain categories. One of which is prominent one is the cast iron pot sleeper. It consisted of two hollow balls or pots of circular or elliptical shape, which were placed inverted on the ballast section. These pots are basically connected by a tie bar with the help of cotter and Gibbs. Okay, so this is a very important term. These cotter and Gibbs will show you in the next image. Okay, so these pots were connected with the help of cotter and Gibbs. So therefore, in this way, what happens was, those by connecting the pots with the help of tie bar, we saved certain materials also. Okay, since the material of construction is saved of the sleeper, so the sleepers were proven to be weightless also, or you can say lesser in weight. But it has a disadvantage that these sleepers were not basically suitable for curves which are sharper than 4%. Okay. Also, fittings are hidden and therefore maintenance is quite difficult. Okay. So whenever we had to choose cast iron sleepers or CI pot sleepers, we had to make sure that the curves should not be sharper than 4%. Okay, so here is an example of this is one pot, this is one single pot in this first image. Okay, the first image, look at the first image. This is one CI pot sleeper. Okay, so this is one part of the sleeper. Then this gray shaded bar, this is actually a cast iron tie bar. This is known as tie bar. This would be on the other end. It will be attached to a similar kind of pot, and which constitutes an entire complete cast iron pot sleeper. Okay. Now, next kind of cast iron sleeper is CST9 sleeper, that is known as Central Standard Trial 9 sleeper. Now, this name is actually provided to the CST9 sleeper. Why? Because while this RDSO Lucknow was conducting, or you can say, making some research on the sleeper, this kind of sleepers, when it was evolved and accepted, the acceptance was done on the ninth trial of the sleeper. Okay, they were making certain changes to the sleeper and again testing it. So this was the standard. The protocol was to make the standard trial. So on the ninth trial, this kind of sleeper came into being. Therefore, this was known as Central Standard Trial 9, that is CST 9 sleeper. Okay. So along with the pot and tie bar or plate, the sleeper has a combination of pot, plate, and a box sleeper. Okay, in which triangular inverted pots, central plate with projected knee, and box, and also it consists of box on the top of a plate. Okay, so pots over here are also connected with the help of a tie bar. Okay, which is further connected with the help of quarters. Advantage of using this sleeper is that they reduces the rocking of the sleeper under rail wave motion. Okay. Also, the bearing area is nearly equal to the bearing area of the standard wooden sleeper, which helps in providing what firm support and fairly good lateral and longitudinal stability to the rails as well as the entire PVA track. Okay. Then came into being the concrete sleeper. Now, these concrete sleepers, all of the disadvantages mostly were removed in these particular sleepers. Okay. So over the decades, whatever disadvantages we were facing, we tried to remove it in these particular kind of sleepers. So the concept was that these RCC sleepers are pre-stressed sleepers. They are quite similar to the wooden sleeper. That means they are block type RCC sleepers which are connected by steel tie bars. So this is all internally, and upon that they are covered with the help of what? With the help of concrete. So it is basically reinforcer. The reinforcing over here, instead of bars, it is with the help of a steel tie bar. Okay. So the pre-stressed concrete blocks with a steel or articulated concrete tie bar constitutes what? A pre-stressed concrete sleeper, that is PCC. Okay. Here are two images of concrete sleepers. The first one is twin block sleepers. As why? As you can see, there are two blocks of concrete which are connected with the help of a tie bar. That is in between. This is open. This kind of sleeper is quite helpful while we are going for the construction of points and crossings in railway. Okay, because in points and crossing, a certain other tracks has to be introduced at the same end, and some space is required in between so that the junction of the sleeper could be taken place, and the junctions of the crossing of tracks could take place, plus the entire point assembly could be placed. Okay. Second one is pre-stressed monoblock sleepers. Monoblock because there is one entire block connected internally with the help of a tie bar. Okay. Here are the design considerations which are taken into consideration while going for concrete sleeper. That is, the forces acting on a sleeper are considered. Then effects of the geometrical form including shape, size, and weight. Then effect of the characteristics of fastening used in the construction of the PVA track. Then provision of failure against the derailment. Okay. Here in this image, you can see a number of monoblock PCS, that is pre-stressed concrete sleeper. Okay. So this is the most commonly used. These monoblock PCS are the most commonly used kind of sleepers. That is throughout the nation itself. Okay. Now the speciality, or you can say the features, typical features, if we'll talk about these, that is they are trapezoidal in section with a width at top, that is 154 mm, and the bottom width is 250 mm, and they have a height of 210 mm. Similarly, like the other sleepers, canting of these, or you can say edzing of the sleeper is done, which is 1 in 20 for 175 mm on either side of the center line of the rail. Also, there is one more thing, that spandrel clips are already provided on these sleepers so that the fixing of the rails can take place. Okay. Spandrel clips are basically the fastening devices. Like in this image, you can see the attaching devices. This device से तुम लोग fix करते हो rail को sleeper पे. So the most prominent one is actually spandrel clip. There are certain many fastening devices, but this is one of the most prominently used. That is spandrel clip. Okay. Again, the twin block concrete sleeper, that as you have seen in the earlier image, it also has the certain kind of dimension. Here are all the dimension given over here. Now, there's one more thing that you can focus on this point, that is the weight of sleeper assembly is 215 kg. So one sleeper weighs how much? 200. This is the nominal weight of a sleeper, that is 215 kg. So in order to lift that 215 kg, no single person can lift it. So therefore, the number of people are required for that particular thing. Plus, for fixing these two block concrete sleepers, the best fastening devices available is IRN 202 fastening with bolts fixed to the angle of tie bar and rubber pads. Why rubber pads are used? Rubber pads are used so that the shock, the absorption of the shocks and vibration can take place very easily. Okay, here is another image of two block concrete sleepers. Okay, so even these concrete sleepers, now talking about concrete sleepers, all those disadvantages in all the other sleepers over the decades, they were rectified in this. So these all the disadvantages over there, they have been converted into advantages in concrete sleeper. That is, being heavy, they lend strength and stability to the track. Then they are suitable for this thing, long welded rail due to LWRS, long welded rail due to resistance due to buckling. Then maintaining gauge and alignment and cross levels is quite easy. Then track circuiting is possible very easily. Corrosion damage due to pest, fire hazards, these are not possible in concrete sweepers. Also, concrete sweeper has a longest life, that is around 40 to 50 years. Then better maintenance or mechanical maintenance can be done. Plus, use of local resources can be done in order for the construction and maintenance of these sweepers. Now, even though it is having number of advantages, it has certain disadvantages also. That is, handling and laying is difficult. Why? Since it is quite heavy to lift. Then heavy damages during derailment. Normally, there are no damages which occur to the sleeper, concrete sleeper, but once they are there, then they are quite heavy because most of the damages occur due to the heavy derailment itself. Then no scrap value is there. Once the sleeper is obsolete, or you can say not fit for use, then there is no scrap value of concrete. Okay. Then they are not suitable for better packing, beater packing. Okay, beater packing is basically the ballast cushion which you place under the sleeper. Okay. So in case of wooden sleeper, you can observe that since the wooden wood is a bit soft in nature, even though it is made up of hardwood, but it is a bit soft in nature. Then what happens when you compact these ballast cushions? It gets quite easily fit into the this thing. The packing density is better achieved. Okay, you can understand like this. The packing density achieved is better. Also in the in case of street sleeper, also it is quite good. But in case of concrete, since there is quite much of rigidity in there, so you cannot. It is not suitable for beater packing. Okay, then increase in the cost is there of concrete sleeper due to the use of mechanical handling procedure. Okay. Now, when we study sleeper, this is one of the most important topic, that is sleeper density in competitive exams, plus in from the point of view of university examination. Sleeper density is a very important topic. Okay, so you'll always find one question related to calculation of sleeper density, which is very easy. Okay, we'll see how. Sleeper density is basically defined as the number of sleepers per rail length or per 1 kilometer rail length of the track. Now remember, always remember one thing, that sleeper density is what? The number of sleepers per rail length. It is not per this thing, the entire rail length. It is per kilometer of the length of the track. So if you are in question, if you are given that 1000 meter of rail is provided to you, and by using 1000 meter of rail, you have to construct a railway track and find the sleeper density. So by using that 1000 meter rail, you have to apply it on the both sides. Okay, why? Because a track consists of two parallel rails running parallelly. Okay, it's not that you'll run your train on single rail. Okay, a track consists of two rails running parallel. So if you are provided with material that is 1000 meter rail, you have to divide it into two. That is 500 meters for one rail, 500 meters for another rail. Then you have to decide per rail length how much is the nominal rail length of a for a broad gauge section. It is 13 meters. Okay, so 13 you'll divide it into 13-meter segments. So one this thing rail length will be 13 meters. Okay, this sleeper density is noted as m plus x for fish plated tracks, where m is the rail length and x is the number which varies between 4 to 7. Now the sleeper density depends upon various factors like axle load, the speed of the rail, okay, the rail section which is used, the sleepers, the kind of sleepers which are used, the depth of ballast cushion which is provided over there, and the kind of formation which is constructed. Okay, here is a diagrammatic representation of the spacing of sleepers at fish plated track. That is a normal track. Okay, so whenever a fish plated track is used, see the only thing over here, the main thing over here which you have to keep in mind is in between. See over the below the joint. Okay, in the section A, below the joint, no sweeper is provided. A sweeper is never provided at the joint itself. It is provided at certain distance to the joint, from the joint itself, from the start and end of the rail. That is these two sleepers. The first sleeper with measure from the end or start of the rail is known as joint sleeper. Okay. Then after that, the next sleeper is known as first shoulder sleeper, then the second shoulder sleeper, and after that the sleepers are known as intermediate sleepers. Okay, so three sleepers on each side of the joint are very special, or you can say important while placing. The other sleepers are intermediate sleepers, which are kept at a certain distance. So you have to vary the distance accordingly based upon the factors which were mentioned in the earlier slide. Okay. So Indian Railways has suggested certain values for spacing of sleepers at fish plated track, which are as follows. Like between joint sleepers, for example, if wooden sleeper is used, it should be 30, or all these things spacing are in centimeters. So it should be 13 centimeters. Then for a metal sleeper, if it is used, then between joint sleepers, the metal sleeper should be the sweeper distance should be 38 centimeters. Okay. So the spacing over here, you can say with the help of prefix, what is A? This A is the spacing between joints. That is joint sleeper. Okay. Here are the readings which you can refer for the respective topics which were discussed in this particular slide. Thank you.